How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Daily Grind Fantasy. My name is Dustin. In today's video, we are going to be showing you guys how to find value in esports and become a profitable bettor playing these esports. And when I say this, I mean it. You don't need to know anything about esports. You don't need to know who's on what team, the rules of any of the game modes or game types or specific games. All you need to do is be able to spot an edge throughout the market in order to find long-term profitability. I have never played a game of CSGO in my life. I basically know nothing about the game outside of it being Call of Duty's version of Search and Destroy, right? But what I do know how to do is find an edge, and I do that playing MLB, NFL, NBA, all of the major sports. We can do the same thing here in esports to find an edge, and I'm going to show you guys how. So first things first, I use a tool like Daily Grind Fantasy to spot value across esports. I do the same thing, as I mentioned, for all of the other major sports as well. What it does is it compares sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to PrizePicks, right? But however, since the sportsbooks don't actually have lines and odds for esports projections, kill projections that is, we have to look at the DFS app market, right? All of these different DFS apps set their own lines independently for what they believe these player props should be set at. It's the same thing as sportsbooks setting their own lines and their odds, right? Whenever you're a bettor and you're trying to find value in the market, you have to line compare, whether it's the sportsbooks or DFS apps like we're going to be doing for esports, and see who is off. Where can you get the best number? Where can you get the best value? Just like Kelsey Plum right here, right? 4.5 on PrizePicks, at 5.5 on two other books, but then FanDuel has it at 4.5, but we're reading the odds, they're at minus 136. So everything in the market is pointing this should be closer to 5.5, right? And they're favored over to go over 4.5 assists at minus 136. We can get this at 4.5 at minus 119. So clear value when comparing to the rest of the market that PrizePicks is off in this projection and these odds, so we want to play it on PrizePicks. Another example, let's use Luis Medina, over 4.5 strikeouts. The entire sportsbook market has this favored over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 140 average odds across the market, right? Where can we find the best possible number and play it there? PrizePicks. We know that in 5 and 6 man flexes, because PrizePicks doesn't shift for taking the over or the under, we are going to be getting this play at minus 119 odds, whether we take the over or the under. So we can play the over on PrizePicks at minus 119 and get a minus 140 play on the sportsbooks at minus 119 on PrizePicks. So over the long term, that creates profit, and you will be profitable line comparing and getting the best possible odds on these DFS apps that don't change their payouts for overs and unders. All right, enough of the regular sports. Let's get into the esports and show you actually how to do this. All right, so first things first, the more data points, the better. If you have multiple DFS apps that have a line set for a projection and one is off, you can really trust that more than if you were just going 1-to-1 comparison or 2-to-1 comparison. So the more sportsbooks or DFS apps, the better to be able to compare to. With that being said, look at this top play, right? Set to 1.5 kills on PrizePicks, set to 1.5 on HotStreak. HotStreak is a dynamic payout platform that actually adjusts the money coming in the overs and the unders. So you're able to kind of get a judgment of where these odds are favored. So it's minus 286 to go over 1.5 kills on HotStreak, but it's the same exact kill projection. So do we really trust HotStreak versus PrizePicks? Do we trust that HotStreak and everybody there is bringing in sharp money on the overs? Or we can come down here to MyRoo and feel a little bit more confident about the play because of the more data points we have, right? MyRoo is set to 3.5 on PrizePicks, 4.5 on HotStreak with juice, minus 180 to the over, and then set to 4 on Parlay Play. So all of these DFS apps, as I mentioned, set lines independently. So if they're doing that, this is what they believe the projection should be set at. So if the market is establishing at 4.5, because you have multiple DFS apps agreeing it should be that high, right? And not only that, if this is juiced to the over at minus 180, means they're giving it a likely chance to hit the over of 4.5. The other book is set to 4, so it's 0.5 higher than PrizePicks already, no juice included. Why not take this on PrizePicks at minus 119 and a full kill lower than HotStreak and then 0.5 lower than the next closest book? That's exactly how you find value in esports. That little bit of an edge, that 0.5 kills, that 1 kill in League of Legends, or let's talk about a little CSGO. So that was the optimizer at Daily Grind Fantasy that we were using. However, this is the middling tool. If you guys want access to Daily Grind Fantasy, I'll leave a link in the description to Daily Grind Fantasy. You guys can get signed up for whatever subscription you'd like. But the best way to find plus EV value and be profitable over the long term using the plus EV strategy is by using their tools to help you. I do have to say that. However, let's look at CS2 value, right? So, we could see, comparing to the DFS apps, that's what the middling tool does. It takes the sports books out of it. Comparing to just the DFS apps, we can line compare these esports easily. We see underdog set to 16, PrizePicks set to 16, and then hot streak 1.5 headshots higher, right? So, looks like there's some value when comparing the DFS apps that we have numbers for, right? On taking the under of 17.5 on hot streak. So that's where I would be playing this play, right? Let's go ahead and look at the next play. CS2 again, snacks. Over 26.5 on underdog. Well, let's just say 26.5 on underdog. 26.5 on PrizePicks. 26.5 on parlay play. But a full kill higher on hot streak. So take the full kill higher, right? Because all of those other 3 DFS apps are saying this should be set lower at 26.5. You're getting 1 kill of value taking the under of 27.5 on hot streak. Like I mentioned, finding that little bit of an edge over the long term and making sure you're getting the best number is going to pay off and make you profitable. So there is a strategy involving one-to-one comparisons, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's called middle betting, right? If you have 2 DFS apps that have set projections and they are so off from each other that there is a percentage chance you could win both bets by taking the opposite sides of those bets, you want to take it, right? So right here we have Demo under 43 kills on PrizePicks, right? But we have it at 41.5 on hot streak. We would want to take the under of 43 on PrizePicks, the over of 41.5 on hot streak, and if it lands at 42 or 43, we technically win both bets, right? We don't lose on PrizePicks and we win on hot streak. Vice versa. Then obviously you could win on either side, but if you can find, let's say CS2, 6 kill middles, which happens all the time where these DFS apps really disagree from each other. 6 kills in CS2, or 4 kills, 3 kills in League of Legends. Those are very, very profitable plays over the long term, playing both sides, and I would suggest middling those. But when should you not middle? When there is a clear outlier via the DFS apps, right? So Lucky is set to 29.5 on PrizePicks and CS2 here, but 27.5 on parlay play. So we could take a middle, right? And then if it lands on 28 or 29, we would win both of those bets. However, if we look at our other data point here, hot streak is set to 28.5 with juice on the under of at 162 odds, right? Minus 162 odds. So they're saying that this should probably be around 27.5, but they're leaving it at 28 and juicing the under at minus 162. So the market is really set right around this this 27.5 kills. So PrizePicks is the most off here. You would want to just play this on PrizePicks rather than middling on parlay play. And I do just want to say, just because you're getting 2 to 3 to 5, 6 kills of value comparing to the market doesn't mean this is going to hit all the time. Nothing is a 100% hit rate, and this is gambling. But the more you can find an edge, the bigger the edge, the more long-term profitability you will see. So the goal on PrizePicks is to find 5 or 6 plays that have an edge when comparing to the market and play them into a slip together without a payout shift, right? Because on PrizePicks, 5 and 6 man flexes are the most profitable slip types over the long term. You need to be right on your individual legs at 54.3+% of the time in order to be profitable playing these slip types, which is the lowest hit rate you can have on PrizePicks to be profitable. The biggest takeaway here is that you need to know nothing about esports in order to actually be able to find value when betting on them, right? Trust the market. These DFS apps are setting lines the way they are for a reason, all independently as I mentioned. However, each DFS app knows who their opponent is, right? They also know that they've hit over this kill projection in 4 out of the last 5 matchups. Whatever it might be, whatever you think you can look up and that you know, these DFS apps setting these lines already know that. So trust it when they're setting these projections and find who's off. And now that you've learned how to find value in esports, I want to see you guys go crush it. Update me in the comments with how you guys are doing using this strategy. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.